Oh, hello everyone. It is me. Yes, so we're just getting into the lobby now. Sadly, Luke's got a couple of gremlins going on, so we're just going to be jumping over and jumping into it in just a jiffy. Then I'm just going to. Sadly, I have to be a Red Bull, which is which is a bit sad, isn't it? Hello, but yeah, let's get going then, shall we? For the start of the Dutch Grand Prix, 72 laps around the Dutch Grand Prix, and we are ready to get going as well. So I am going to be in a Red Bull, so you got to. Oh no! And we are going to be just getting on and getting going in just a jiffy. Whilst the session loads up, let's quickly talk about a couple of the new faces that will be driving in full time now. Which of course will be Kieran, who will be joining as the Williams driver in place of Coop. So in the last time that Kieran did race was actually a very solid fourth position, I believe it was. No, fifth position, which isn't too shabby at all, is it, in of its own right there. I am just hopefully I'll be back in the lobby in just a jiffy, and then we'll be getting going. Oh, can I spectate? Let me spectate, please. I want to spectate, please. I think I'm spectating. Fantastic. But yeah, so we got Kieran, who's now the new Williams driver. Then with one start so far, but a very solid fifth position it wasn't. All right, let me get me audio on. Lovely stuff indeed. And we're ready to get going then for the start of the Dutch Grand Prix. Yes, indeed then. So apologies then. We just had a couple of technical gremlins, but we are on and cooking in just a jiffy now. Well, here we go. Second attempt, laugh out loud. The GOAT. Thank you, Kiki. Thank you, Dolzy. And hopefully we'll get the stream up and running. Good luck all to R2 beat. And also Scroat. Thank you, Mushroom. To be honest, if Mushroom has a good race day, then obviously we all know that the problem is it's Mushroom cannot execute a good race plan, and it's nothing to do with me. Drivers and Constructors Championship for the event league is like this. I'm 17th. That's fantastic. Great stuff. But anyway, is that now then is you've got the formation lap already underway here in the Dutch Grand Prix, which is all splendid stuff indeed. Then, as you can see, then let's go for the grid. Cam on pole position for the Dutch Grand Prix. Fantastic stuff indeed there for Cam, with Equals alongside on row one. Then it was Kieran in his first full-time appearance in the Williams. Fourth position is Riley. Fifth position is, oh gosh, Riley dancing all over the show there. But luckily for Riley, I'm in the comms box tonight and I'm not actually going to drive into it. Savasta in Sigma fifth position. That's such. I'm not prepared, as you can tell, as I was good had to practice Savaska's name then. Hings in sixth position there. On a good run all of a sudden now is Jay Hings there. He's had 2 points finishes in the last 2 silver races. And now he's doing a decent job in 100% as well. Mad Max is the highest runner on the soft tyres in 8th position. Percy in 7th. I forgot to mention Percy. I've turned notifications off. That's fantastic. Go away. 9th position is Jinner. 10th is Vessier. 11th position is R2 Beat on soft with Marsky in 12th position. Reflections in 13th. Legends in 14th. Cirrus Mushroom in 15th position there. Love the helmet. 16th is Kiki. 17th position is Ginger Rage. Fantastic performance by Ginger Rage. Would have been on pole position. 18th position is Liam. 19th is Vintage. And 20th is Knowlesy. as we're all lined up on the grid now, preparing for the start of the Grand Prix. So sorry I had to take over, Sean. I won't have any issues next week, Luke said. Oh, don't worry about that, Luke. To be honest, the amount of problems I've had over the years. Just go back and watch the early streams. I think it was Alex was saying that season 4 or season 5 he reminded me about my horror show. So don't worry about that, Luke. Enjoy the rest of your evening then as well, as we are now all lined up on the grid now, prepared for the start of the Dutch Grand Prix here in Zandvoort. I don't think there's any wild cards tonight, is there? So the lights are going to come on one at a time. And then when they go out, we'll be racing here in Zandvoort. 4, 5, there's a pause, and we are go for the Dutch Grand Prix. Down into turn 1 of Tarzan, and up the inside goes Equals as well. Good stuff indeed there for Equals, and through he goes, but he's not into the lead because it's still going side by side through turn 2 and into the banking of turn 3. As now just flying through turn 3, Kieran is in 3rd position with Sabaska in 4th position. There was that contact. Percy up in 5th position, and Riley dropping down to 6th position. We got a couple of cars going abreast here through the very fast, kinky part of the circuit. And the best here is in 9th position with R2 Beat in 10th. Jinner 11th, 12th is Marsky, Legends in 13th, Kiki 14th with Reflections, Liam, Vintage. Then we've got Nolsey followed by Serious Mushroom, and then Ginger Rage is bringing up the rear as he always does. Percy is up the inside and takes 4th position, passes Percy and moves himself over the 4th. But here comes Savaska down the inside, not quite though, as Riley is dancing all over the show. And a bit of a concern now for anyone who's going to be racing Riley. R2B up the inside of Jay Hings. He's on the softer shot tyre, so he will be a bit quicker at this stage of proceedings. But he needs to make hay whilst the sun is shining. And they're all on the medium or the soft tyres. This is great news actually, because normally we're always on the hard on the medium. So good stuff indeed. Then Cam sets the fast lap of the race there. Of course, obviously I'm making the fast lap. Then we got Equals followed by Kieran, and down the inside as Riley has dropped down in that position. Riley's got damage, I think, to the front wing, which allowed Vestia to go through as well. As Riley, goodness me, Riley almost into the gravel there. Legends into 13th finish now. Jay Hings there. Oh goodness me, that car is certainly dancing. And goodness gracious me, it's like Dancing in the Moonlight by Top Loader. And through goes Jinner and passes R2B, or does he? As they're going on the outside here, and R2B through out of Skyflock, I think it's called. Jinner down into 11th position at the moment, as Riley is sadly dropping with the damage there, and I'm not sure if Riley's even in that position there, but it's very difficult to probably race there as he's teleporting backwards and forwards at the moment. Riley alongside R2B alongside Riley and going up into a 9th position now. Cam is about 3/10 of a second away at the moment there. Evening to you, Halsey, good luck all then. The stream was literally wiping out my family's Wi-Fi. Laugh my bottom off. We'll piggyback off the better Wi-Fi next week, says Luke. Oh, it's all good. Yellow flag in the background. Vintage is off the circuit as Equals set the fast off of the race there. Yeah, as Equals takes the lead of the Dutch Grand Prix, gets in front of Equals, but he's on the outside here. I'm getting flashbacks from a couple of seasons ago between Percy and between Boxtel. Up the inside, then yellow flag again. Then there's issues at the back of the field there. Riley is in the pits. I've also got yellow flags somewhere else as well on the field. That is how they come through, but Equals has taken the lead of the Dutch Grand Prix. We're over at Skyflock now. Yeah, don't worry about that, Luke. It's all good. Don't worry. It's the amount of problems that I've had over the years. Goodness me, I had to. I remember that I was trying to stream off a 4G router one time, and it didn't go well at all. And I think I had to venture all the way from Gloucester to the forest to borrow my sister's Wi-Fi way back when. I think it was Silver Season 1. Love that helmet designed by Mad Max. But no, it was all good, my good sir. Looks like lovely sunshine out there at the moment, doesn't it? Good stuff indeed then, as Equals leads. 2nd position is Cam. 3rd position is Kieran. Good stuff indeed there. Percy's up 3 positions already. 4th position is Liam. Great stuff indeed there for Liam. They're flying in that Ferrari at the moment. Sadly, Riley's had issues there, and hopefully Riley being a Cam up the inside contact between the two cars, and for Kieran had to take evasive action. That's allowed Percy through and up into 3rd position there. Goodness me. You're on course for a win by 6 minutes as well. Says Luke. Then I just feel terrible. You had to sacrifice the race because of my issues. Oh, don't worry, it's all good. To be honest, it was going to be an easy win for Ginger Rage. It would have the Ginger Rage domination would have bored fans. Kiki in the pits very early on then, and also Vintage in the pits as well. I think two drivers may have come to blows there as they're coming out of the pits now in that McLaren, Chrome McLaren as well. I do like that Chrome McLaren. Back at the front, Equals then leads, but Cam and Equals making contact then, and Equals cannot afford to lose a front nose cone because of course he has got a 4-point gap between himself and Reflections in the World Drivers' Championship, and Reflections all the way down in 13th position there. Horror show in qualifying for Reflections, sadly. That's not ideal at all, but let's see how Reflections goes as he comes through the field. I must admit, as much as I drive in these 100% races, I have no idea what goes on in front of me, mainly because I'm almost several laps down the road. Cam takes the lead then, and of course this could yo-yo around there. There's Percy lurking in that kick Sauber in third position there. Legends has got past Marsky, flying past as well. Knowlesy in the pits already in the kick Sauber. He's also got a 10-second penalty for Knowlesy. Sadly, he's been caught green-handed there. The kick Sauber mechanics are prepped and ready to go as they're in the pits now. And what's that? That's the medium time's going on. Is that new nose cone? It is a new nose cone as well for Knowlesy. Remember that it is, of course, the top 15 that gets points. It's the top 15 that gets points in this race, just like bronze, of course. So, yes, as long as you finish the race and as long as you stay in the top 15 or above, 15 for above, then, of course, you will get points, of course. So they're similar and fast on track. You have to complete the race to get that point, of course. Whilst, and goodness me, look at this. We've now got a four-way scrap for the lead then. I do not expect this scrap to be all through the race. And, of course, this is basically our closest we got to endurance racing, ALR Grand Prix race. And, of course, 20 cars still remain out of the 20 that start. I was about to say 22, if only that's in a couple of seasons' time. Out of the final turn, and Equals, who is now just a bit further back now. Percy is just sticking with it, so we've got a bit of a DRS train now, but Jitter is not too concerned about that. Flies past Jay Hings, and I'm into 9th position. Jay Hings has dropped down 4 positions, not ideal at all, unfortunately there. So we've had some early pit stoppers there, might have been for wing changes and things like that, but Knowlesy is now on the medium tyres. Riley's gone soft. Medium for Kiki, medium for Vintage as well. I must admit, I do not know what tyres anyone started on because I was all over the show, which is definitely unusual, is it? Man, Mike's doing a good job actually in the McLaren. Not only has he got a beautiful helmet design, he's also looking very quick out there as well. Just on board now. That's Kieran having a sniff there. I think it's not. I don't think that was a bona fide overtaking opportunity there from Kieran, but it was more just to ruffle the feathers of the Season 9 Gold World Champion of Percy. So Kieran there is just trying to stick his nose in there and just really ruffling the feathers. I'm going to be honest there. I'm hoping that Kieran does not score 9 for above today, because then that means I'm back down into 19th in the Drivers' Championship, which is not good, which I'm going to be highly devastated by. And of course, I kind of hope that Liam doesn't score any more than 8th or 9th position today as well, because that means I'll be at the bottom of the championship, and it's all about, and I'm very biased, and Equals himself into the lead of the Grand Prix into Tarzan. Good stuff indeed there. I think it's called Tarzan. I'm not sure if this is a true story or not. As Reflections, the championship leader, fighting with Marsky. Marsky's been hot or cold this season. I still remember that incredible race in Australia as they go side by side. Contact as Reflections had to get out of it. And Reflections, oh goodness gracious me. That's not ideal there for Reflections, is it there? Of course, he does not want to lose a nose cone, does he? Off that Ferrari. And of course, Reflections there at the moment, though, it's not looking good then. This is going to be one of those weekends for Reflections where he's going to have to really maximise his opportunities in this one because of course Reflections there is really up against it at the moment. Only 3 points on the board, whilst Equals are scoring the maximum 30 points at the moment, so not ideal at all there for Reflections, but he is on the longer long lasting tyre, but there's only 3 drivers in front of him on the soft tyre at this moment in time. So yeah, so I think is mission critical, not yet. I think there's a high probability we're going to have a safety car around here as well. So Savasca then. Savasta, I should say. Purple as Aquas has lost the lead. Then Cam takes the lead, gets ahead of Aquas. Aquas trying to go on the outside there, but that door is always going to slam shut. And now alongside Mad Max, contact between the two cars, but through Savasta goes and up into fifth position. I'm a big fan of Savasta, of course, winning the Grand Prix in the Hungarian Grand Prix a couple of days ago in Hungary. Well, of course it was, because it was in the Hungaroring in Hungary. But a big fan I am, and really good stuff indeed. And only a second Grand Prix start in silver as well, so fantastic stuff indeed. I think I said it was a debut, which is wrong on a Monday. But having said that, then I don't know. I can't. We got any wrong or reason, to be honest. There, I was just wrong, sadly. So on board keeper now. He's just going to be keeping on up. Percy, who has been pretty impressive. I think that Percy on this current grid does have the most Grand Prix wins there. We'll have a look at that in a minute. And luckily we have got a whole hour and a half of talking absolute nonsense, which is not good for you guys, but it's fantastic for me because I can have a moan about anything F1 related. Percy going down the inside. Nope, switch to the outside. Contact between the two cars again, as it is getting very feisty. And now Kieran on the outside, of the inside, and then look at this, and it's getting very precarious between those cars, and there's more contact. Surely the wings are going to be feeling worse for wear, as they're getting very close there. But as Martin Brundle said in the Italian Grand Prix, actually, front nose cone to rear crash structure, I suppose that's the part of the cars that are designed to make contact, aren't they? To have a bit of barging. Out of Skyflock here, I thought Kieran's going to have a good old lunge there, out of turn 8 there, but that is not the case at all. He's a good lad, Savasta. I apologise. Savasta told me how to say his name as well, but in my defence, McLaren! Oh no! And that's Mad Max who's gone around. And that's a shame, because he was looking strong for Mad Max there, using those soft tyres to absolute perfection here, but he's dropped all the way down the order. Percy has had an issue. He's dropped down the order. Jay Hinks has now got a 3-second penalty. Good gracious me, gentlemen. Absolutely incredible stuff indeed there. And my golly gosh, then it's getting action-packed already in this race. Well, already, they're all up 10 then, out of 72. Having a look down the inside. So what about strategy then, I hear you ask then? Sadly, I'm the wrong person there to talk about strategy. This is why we need Luke in the comms box, because Luke actually knows about strategy and all that kind of stuff. Because Luke is a proper racing driver, whilst I am one of those Formula, if anyone remembers Formula Boss, was it Formula Boss? I think our Lord and Saviour, Brad Goofer, oh my gosh, Marver here, I can't say his name, gosh, I'm so sorry. But yes, I think he won that challenge. He came second actually, didn't he, in the Boss GP, because where they raced the legendary Formula 1 cars, I think, way back in the day there. My goodness gracious me then, but yes, interesting stuff, Boss GP. I forgot what I was trying to say to this, but never mind. Back at the front, Cam leads. Second position is Equels. Third position is Kieran. Cam is in place for Mark, who's not racing tonight then. So Cam is not a full-time driver, but he's eligible for points. But the Racing Bull team is not eligible for points there, of course. Serious Motion there, having a fight with Liam here. So Red Bull and the Ferrari getting their elbows out there. Serious Motion making its way over the 13th position. Liam trying to hang it on the outside. Now we got Mad Max, who's trying to recover as well, coming out of the final turn. Liam back of the inside contact, and that's going to allow Mad Max to steal through. He has steamed through and up into 13th position. Goodness gracious me. Oh my gosh, Oh, I was getting very frightened indeed. Then R2B is the highest running soft tyre runner now, as we go with the brow of the hill into Skyflock, then, and now as the brow of the hill once again. Look at this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars, all in DRS there at the front of the train. And it's I must say, it's very unusual to see the front of the train in this era for me, because usually I'm down Lancashire where I am. To be fair, the AI is doing very good for me. Actually, I'm very happy. As it's Kieran is through, passes Equals. Remember, Equals is fighting for the championship. Kieran is not at the moment there. Mathematically, I suppose he has a chance, but I think realistically, possibly, maybe preparation in for next season in the event league. Of course, if ALR is doing the event league next season, then we normally do swap around. As Riley's overtaken me, I think that's revenge from last week, as where I broke Riley's front nose cone under a safety car, which is shocking stuff indeed. And to be fair, Luckily, I didn't get reported by Riley, but I think that's because Riley is too nice of a gentleman, really. Otherwise, I probably would have had a couple of license points there, as you shouldn't really be crashing under the safety car, should you? If you can't drive under the safety car, Ginger Rage, then you shouldn't be in this championship there. And it's a serious mushroom on the outside now, cutting across Liam, and through he goes there. I wonder if those soft tyres are beginning to go off now, as we've now got more battling. Goodness gracious me, through Skyflock, and Ginner's on the outside, he's got up the inside there, so through goes R2Beat, or R2Beat retains his position and stays in front of Ginner. Incredible stuff indeed there. Look, Equals is struggling here, isn't it? I gotta say, it feels more likely that Equals is going to lose a position rather than take the lead of this Dutch Grand Prix here at this moment of time there. This is round 11 of the championship, of course. We have done 10 rounds so far. Well, technically we've done 11, haven't we? But we was meant to have 12 rounds by now, but the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix was cancelled due to someone keep pressing start, unfortunately. Low fair assessment, says Halsey. To be fair, that's why I'm up here these days, isn't it? I think that Nolsey would rather be tucked away in my box, to be fair, and not on the track. Ginner is through. Oh my gosh, there's more contact between R2Beat and Ginner, and still they're rubbing wheels, banging wheels. Reflections there is now starting to make its way. It's starting to make some ground now. He's up to 9th position. Last time we've seen Reflections, he was down in 13th position, so the man is on a mission there. Yeah, I think the admins, the likes of Percy and Coop, would probably rather see me probably not involved at all, to be fair, isn't it? Equals is lost out to Kieran, who's now in his 2nd position there. That has been coming, to be fair. Liam's in the pits there on the medium tyres out there, so a couple of early stoppers there on lap 13. If that's the rate we're going, then we're going to have a 2 or 3 stopper here, similar to Hungary last week there, where it's a mandatory 3 stop strategy, which was very interesting indeed, and I think that was one of the reasons why I looked into my 9th position, or 8th, or 10th, or wherever I finished. All I know is that I was very happy with with how things went on last week then. So it's Cam out the final turn, and I think that Cam may be coming under a bit of pressure now. I feel that as much as he's been in DRS, he has been quite comfortable at the front of this train. Jenner having another sniff down the inside of R2Beat. Well, he wasn't really down the inside at all. He wasn't even alongside, to be fair, was he? So Jenner there, I think just trying to make his Williams as wide and as scary as possible here, like that scene off Jurassic Park there, isn't it, where that T-Rex is running after it, or like that scene off Toy Story 2 where the where Rex was running after that Barbie car. As you can tell, I do like Toy Story. I do like a lot of films. Well, I haven't seen that. I watched. I can't remember the last film I watched. I watched the new Superman film, which is pretty good. Yeah, quite enjoyed that. I was going to watch Fantastic Four, but I'm a bit too cheap. Right, I'm going to go to the cinema once a year. I'd say anyone who started on softs has 2 stops, says Halsey. And thank God that Halsey's here, because I must admit I have no idea about strategy, which is not good, is it? It's a guy that's meant to narrate over the races, but that's why we have the likes of Knowsley, Luke in the comms box. I have an expert analysis. Just watching out the final turn then. So Percy down to 5th position on there. So we're expecting 2-stop strategy. I must admit, I was expecting a couple of drivers to come in the pits. Look at the background as well. We've got Ginner side by side of R2Beat, and we've also got Kieran taking the lead as well. Goodness me, where do I look then? I should be looking at the lead, Meek. Come on. As Ginner's on the outside. Whoa, what's happened? There's a problem. It's Kiki. He's off the circuit as R2Beat. Vic has had to admit defeat now, but Kieran has elevated himself from 3rd on the grid up into the lead, and the last couple of laps Kiki is in major peril. This is a 2nd race in a row where Kiki is having issues there. I think that Kieran's going to now waltz away in the is going to waltz away in the background then. It's going to waltz away now and just probably leave these guys high and dry, isn't it? On board with Percy all over the gearbox now. Savasta, who's in at 4th position. I apologise profusely. Just watching Percy all over the gearbox now. Kiki has got a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. It doesn't rain, but it pours for Kiki, and Kiki be hoping there's a bit of rain in the not too distant future. I'm going to miss you lot when I'm back in Australia. Luke, you go back to Australia. That's something, Luke. Because Luke was in Australia last year. I must say, as that Cam retakes the lead, I must say, I would love to live in Australia. However, I have seen so many scary images of I'm terrified of spiders and anything like that. So I'm a bit of a wuss, to be fair. And there's this huntsman spider that is massive. And I must say, I'll probably poop my pants there as Percy through, and I'm in 2/5 position. It's all about K-pop Demon Hunters. Is that a next yellow flag? What's happened? Oh, I think it's Kiki off the circuit. Just letting everyone through that. It's at that Netflix show. Because I've heard a lot of whispers about it. I haven't got around to watching it yet, mainly because I'm still trying to watch Drive to Survive Season 6, I think, the 2023 one anyway. Don't waste your money on Fantastic Four. It's not worth it, says Halsey. I quite enjoyed Fantastic Four, says Luke then. I wanted it to be a longer film, though. I got an offer to do a Masters in Australia with a scholarship, so I'm buggering off next year then. I also got the ticket for the GP, which is fantastic. I would love to watch the Australian Grand Prix. I think it's one of the best races of the season, personally. I am an old school guy, though, as I would probably prefer the old... I probably prefer the old circuit rather than the new one, but that's just me. I don't want to change. At the inside goes Kieran. Retakes the lead, going very wide into Tarzan. Cam is going to hang it on the outside. We've got all kinds of shenanigans in the background. What's happened? We've got yellow flags down in turn 1, and it's Savasca's off the circle in turn 1 there on the inside, and I've missed that completely. Shocking. And now Percy's ghosting. Festier's up in 5th position. There's all anarchy all over the show. Percy's on DRS, and so he needs to get his skates on here now. There's Percy, who I think in the last couple of races, he's won the last 2 races, he's won the last 3 races actually, Percy has. He's on a rich run of form at the moment, is Percy there. He's the highest scoring driver, obviously, because he's won the last 3 races, as Percy there. So Percy is really in the ascendancy in this Drivers' Championship at the moment. Australian GP is a must, to be honest, such a great event. It is one of my favourite Grand Prix of the season. It has to be the first Grand Prix as well, doesn't it? I feel that it just feels right, doesn't it? I'm an Australian Grand Prix, it's the first Grand Prix. Netflix film, K-pop film, so music is actually all right for a kids' film. I think I'll watch that on the weekend then, after me escapades, because I got to go to a Pride event for work. Into the pits comes Percy. I'm wondering then if that's a damage there on the outside. On the inside goes Cam, takes Kieran, here's Percy into the pits. Let's see if he's got damage there on that nose cone. No, listen, this is a strategical call there for Percy. Interesting stuff. So Cam in lead. Second is Kieran. Third is the Equals. 1.6 seconds back is Vestier in 4th position. Followed by Jinner. Followed by R2B. He's doing a great job on those soft tires. 17 laps on those soft tires along with the other soft runners. Then we've got Reflections in 7th position. The championship leader now up into 7th. Legends in 8th. 9th is Jay Hings. 10th position is Mad Max. Remember, Mad Max was fighting as high as 6 earlier on in the Grand Prix. Sadly, though, is dropped down the order. Marskin 11th. 12th edition is Savasca. 13th is Serious Mushroom. He needs to get a move on. Mushroom does there. He's sandbagging, I tell you, in that Red Bull. He's doing very well in bronze, but obviously he wants to knock me down a peg or two. 14th position is Lucas Percy, with Liam in 15th. Riley is in 16th. Knowles is 17th. Ginger Rage in 19th position, and 20th position is Kiki at the moment. All runners are still going around, which is superb stuff indeed. Fantastic. Cam out of the final turn then. So currently Cam leads at 2nd position. Is that in the pits? And that's R2 beat. It is R2 beat. And the Williams of Virginia there. R2, oh dear, R2 beat's got a 10-second penalty. Remember that the ALR Championship. What's happened? I keep saying what's happened. What has happened? At the inside goes Savasca and passes and passes through. I think that that's a crawling. That's someone crawling. It's Kiki who's crawling and has had more issues. Unfortunately, Kiki has in the backfield. R2P has gone to the medium tires now. Kiki, I think, has used all 3 types of tire compounds. He's really struggling out there. Kiki is. I feel that the RB is just not performing out there at all in the hands of Kiki, sadly. However, teammate or super sub Cam is doing a much better job out there at the moment. Of course, as Equal's in for a position. Remember, though, that Kiki may not be in the championship fight in the event league, but he is in the championship fight in silver, of course. So keep an eye. So Kiki might be doing a bit of just trying to bit of trial and error now in this Grand Prix with the issues that Kiki's had. I think he might be doing a bit of trial and error and seeing what the car is going to perform like. Albeit Kiki is in the Red Bull rather than the Racing Bull. So close, but no scar. Vetch has now flown his way up into 4th position now, as Riley's got past Knowlesy and up into 16th position. And that's on the that's pretty impressive stuff, because Knowles is on the medium tires, and I thought those soft tires would have fallen off by now. Only whoa! It's Savasta having issues again, and Marsky is back into 8th position. They just couldn't get the power down. There's a lot of torque in these modern day Formula 1 machinery, isn't it? But my goodness me, it was like I was going to say a riding bull, but Savasta's in a Alpine rather than a Red Bull. There's Sirius Mushroom, who's now in 10th position. He's starting to pull his socks up now and doing a great job indeed. That is Sirius Mushroom. There's going to be a lot of banter with me on Mushroom tonight, because he is my teammate and he needs to score some points. Savasta has got back past Marsky in a very unusual place there. Has something gone wrong with Marsky? No, I think that I'm wondering if Marsky's just showing on the soft tires. So Reflections, a bad qualifying, but he's put that behind him and it's absolutely just on fire. It's like a freight train. He is steaming through and into sixth position is Reflection there. Sirius Mushroom's down into 11th. Very shocking stuff. I'm absolutely unhappy now. Reflection's back up into 6th position there. Jinner's in 5th at the moment there, but I think the Reflections, what a performance so far. Lap 20 out of 72 here. We're not too far away from the halfway point of this Grand Prix. The medium tires are still going to have to go quite an awful long way, I feel, if any of these guys wants to make a one-stopper work. I'm got my eyebrow raised here. I'm going to give myself cramp in my face, which is never a nice thing. But I do feel that the one-stop might be a stretch. Says me with the most uneducated sentence ever, because I have no idea, which is fantastic, isn't it? Mushroom will do his usual and get up there at the end. Then says Halsey, he better Halsey, because all the Red Bull hopes and relies on Sirius Mushroom now. To be honest, they did anyway. To be fair, didn't they? Let's be honest about it. I don't think that second Red Bull driver, what's his name, Ginger Age. I don't think he's got a very good pace in that left foot of his. So Cam is still leading this crocodile. The DRS train now stretched all the way down to Legends, now in 7th position. Savasta in 8th position. 9th is Marsky, and Percy is back into the top 10. Remember, it's the top 15 that score at the moment. The drivers yet to score at the moment is Knowlesy down in 16th, with Riley, Vintage, Ginger Age, and Kiki as well. Fatigue will kick in later, gaps are generally close, and then the concentration levels will be hard to keep up, says Halsey. And that's one thing, I must say, that is absolutely, that rings true to me. I must say, I get very tired after about 10 laps, to be fair. So these drivers are absolute gladiators. And to be fair, actually, as well, because I think I do okay in the opening stint. It's a lot about me, right, isn't it? Goodness me. I think I do okay in the opening stint, but then what seems to happen is that these drivers just seem to get quicker and quicker, and then I just seem to get a bit slower. I just think that the relentlessness of some of these drivers is absolutely incredible, and how their consistency is just second to none. It's incredible stuff. Like, for example, now I would be quite happy out there at the moment, but then I'll be starting to drop off, especially in the second and third stint. Cam has dropped down into fourth, and that's a crawling Cam as well. He's into the pits, so Cam has had issues, and he comes down 60 kilometers an hour as into the pits as Vintage there. The McLaren team has serviced him and has gone onto the hard tyres, so Vintage is going to try and get to the end. Cam into the pits there, and that's damage to the nose cone, so he had an issue out of the final bank turn. That's soft tyres for Cam. That's a two-stopper, surely. Oh my word. So that is not good at all. Then Mad Max has set the fast of the race there. That's good stuff indeed on his very fresh new boots of soft tyres. But he's got Jay Hings for company. Cam then, who was leading this race, he's going to be kicking himself. But Cam was on a high after that incredible top 10 finish in the Hungarian Grand Prix on Sunday night. So Cam then hoping to take that advantage going forward. That extra 5 second on stop there could cost him then later on there. Oh, it's I hope my ghost card's doing all right there. Yeah. Just knock him out the way, lads. Kieran in the lead of the race. Equal's second. Vesser's now in the third position. Riley, oh no, and he's off the circuit. Where's he gone? Where has he gone? I think he's in the pits. So Riley out of the Grand Prix. I'm wondering if that's connection issues, sadly, for Riley, which is Riley was in a good qualifying position there, but unfortunately technical issues. Riley, another driver who's done a really good bit of rich run of form in the last couple of races as well. Riley has pretty impressive stuff there, but sadly tonight it's been a bit more difficult for Riley. And out of the pits now comes Equals, going on hard tyres then, Equals has said. So maybe medium to the hard tyres is actually going to be the preferred strategy. Hard on the wheel with no TC and ABS with reference to fatigue and concentration. Oh, I've just got a controller. Maybe I'm just unfit. Oh dear. Oh goodness, I've been exposed, haven't I? Maybe I'm just actually not a very good driver. But that can't be it, surely. So Serious Mushroom into the pits, going on to the medium tyres then for Serious Mushroom. Some of these lads just makes it look easy. It's not. So Housie, I absolutely agree with you there. I must say. After every event race this season, I am usually sweating. Not as much as I'm sweating in comms, but I'm sweating mainly because I give myself a headache from just thinking too much and trying to understand what's going on. It's absolutely redonkulous, to be fair, as Kieran's got a 2-second lead at the moment. Fantastic. But Vescher's in the pits. Everyone else has stayed out behind him so far. So yes, so Vescher comes into the pits now. We'll see what tyres that the Aston Martin goes on. It's absolutely incredible stuff indeed. How the drivers can go for the 100% race distance, and not only that, but has to think on their feet. They had to think quite a lot last week in terms of that free-stop strategy. It was very difficult indeed. Sadly, it came to bite Equals on the rear posterior, sadly, and that cost him a Grand Prix win. And I'm wondering then if that could come back and bite him in terms of the World Championship, because potentially Equals should be in this championship, but a mistake there from Equals, a mistake from his team potentially. I think that Equals was probably not going to be talking to any of his team after last week's mistake in the Haas team, unfortunately. So I think that Serious Mushroom and Liam is going to renew hostilities here in the battle for 14th and 15th position. Liam has done 12 laps on his medium tyre. Serious Mushroom just coming out of the blankets there. Only heated to 70 degrees C these days rather than the toasted 100 degrees a few years ago. But Serious Mushroom coming out of Skyflock into 15th position he goes now then. And you can see, look at the understeer there. The dirty air in this game has been quite paramount, hasn't it? I must admit, I've really struggled in the dirty air. I really do. I just can't keep up with them, and then I just hurt my tyres. I hurt my pace, and as reflection is through. I know this second position is the championship leader. There was never any doubt, was there? There's the reflection was going to storm through the field. Absolutely fantastic. Jay Hings on the soft tyre. Equals on the hard. Through he goes up into 9th position now. Passes Equals. And away he goes then. So he's going to have to get his toe down now is Jay Hings. And of course, as we mentioned, Silver doing a great job. 2 points finishes in the last 2 races. So that's all good stuff indeed there for Jay Hings there. And he's really started to get on top of this machinery, which is great to see. Controller is like sitting on a deck chair on a cloud. A wheel is like fighting with Tyson for a few hours there. Each their own, and just big respect for those on a wheel. to be fair, that's another reason why I won't get a wheel, because I'll be absolutely tired as well. Because force feedback probably takes quite a lot out of you as well, doesn't it? But if you don't have force feedback on, then how are you going to feel the car? It's Cam through back into 11th position, trying to recover and get himself back in to the higher echelons of the top 10. Into the pits comes Kieran, looking for those Williams mechanics. There's Reflections and Ginner are going to go side by side at the moment. Then, of course, Reflections leads the bronze championship, albeit it was a bit of a difficult race last night for Reflections. He still leads the championship from Smithy Almighty in second. It's an absolutely great fight. It really is, of course, between Reflections and Smithy Almighty. Two drivers then that have really honed their craft, haven't they? Having said that, Reflections, when he first debuted in bronze, he was pretty quick anyway. Of course, he finished third in the championship and then was already promoted in silver, and has spent a lot of his years in Grand Prix racing in the silver category. However, now Reflections then sadly had a horrific season last season, similar to Jay Hings this season, to be honest. But this season out, he's really got to grips with these 2025 cars, which is good to see. Equals there is just keeping up with Jay Hings there, but look at that. Kieran is in front of him, and he's got a 3-second buffer. Kieran has also got a nice bit of track in front of him, 3 seconds there to just start to put his toe down and get going there. You have to try drive to expect it, as opposed to react to it. Sadly, my reactions are too slow. As a 10-second penalty for Jay Hings. Sadly, my reactions are far too slow to react to Dirty Ed, and so I'm kind of to expect it. I'm just not a very good driver. What's happened? There's something gone a bit wrong. Cam's in the pit. That's an unscheduled stop for Cam then. So Cam's had an issue and is now in the pits. Last time we've seen Cam, you're starting to come through the field quite nicely indeed. So Equals and Jay Hings there. So Equals is back past Jay Hings and is back into 8th position. Look at that though. He is well within it. He's within DRS range of Kieran. So that's going to ring some alarm bells from the Williams driver. Of course, he has to fire out those tyres ever so slightly. Of course, the hard tyre, which is the hardest in the compound range, believe it or not. Even though a few years ago we used to have super soft, hyper soft, ultra soft, and all that kind of stuff. I say bring back the rainbow. I used to love the different tire colours. However, probably from a casual fan, it was probably quite odd to, probably quite difficult to understand what was going on then. Reflection was definitely good about last night. Both of us, Astons, didn't achieve what we should. I was actually, I must say, Halsey, I was looking at. So I don't want to miss any action here. But we've just done the standing state, and of course Halsey on 55 points there. Since literally in the last 6 races, Halsey has finished in the points in every single race, and the only time he didn't finish was on his debut race in the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. So Halsey, I think, has done a great job. You certainly have for the Aston Martin. We're just watching Aston Martin on screen now, but Halsey, the Aston Martin may not have maximised their opportunity. However, in the constructors, by the way, this is hot off the press because we've just done the standards. Aston Martin still leads 44 points in front of the Williams and the Ferrari. That's in bronze at the moment, which is got to say, getting very tight indeed. Ferrari and Williams then probably need a bit more consistency from Dynamo Dan, Anthony, and of course Winnie and Smithy Almighty to catch the Aston Martin, because 44, it's probably a 1-2 and fastest lap, but it's still quite a comfortable margin there, especially with the Aston Martin scoring time after time after time. 29 out of 72 here, then we only have distance yet, which is okay for me, because luckily I've got a pink monster here, which is all good stuff indeed then. Imola is my nemesis track then, says Halsey. I agree. As much as I love Imola, I can't race on it for anything. I always use the crash then. And the 2 hours I won the worst race of my life in Imola in the event league last year, I think it was, or the year before. As the worst thing I ever did, I came out the pits on fresh hard tyres, almost a lap down, and I binned it at Tamburello. Shocking stuff indeed there. I did a Giancarlo Fisichella from 2005 there, albeit at least Fisichella was kind of on worn tyres, so that was back in the year where they didn't pit for tyres, which is an odd rule. But I don't know why, I look back in 2005 with quite fondness, apart from the United States Grand Prix, of course. But there we go. My own fault for naming my daughter Imola. That's an amazing fact. I love that. naming your daughter Imola, that's great stuff indeed. It's to be honest, if I ever had a child, I'll probably call it Lewis Jr. or something like that, or Sean Hamilton or Ginger Hamilton. I don't know. But that's way in the future. That's, that's something which I am not going to probably think about for the next couple of years at least, because I've got to get my own self sorted, let alone anyone else. Goodness me. As we're just watching Serious Mushroom, who hopefully will be sorting me out as well with getting some points for the Red Bull. He's currently stuck behind the second Ferrari now of Marski. However, for Serious Mushroom, he needs to make these laps count because he is on the softer tyre. He's on the medium compound tyre. Is Serious Mushroom, so he needs to get his toe down as well. My other daughter is called Senna. My goodness me. How old are they? If you don't mind me asking, that's pretty cool. That is. Because we used to have two drivers, the Hiltons that used to. One was called Emerson, and the other one was called Ayrton, of course, which is pretty cool as well. I envy anyone who's named after a Formula One like track or driver. It's absolutely superb. I don't know any Sean F1 drivers called Sean. I might have to have a ponder about that. My middle name, I could be named after Dale Earnhardt, I suppose, couldn't I? The NASCAR driver. I'm a bit rubbish at the old American motorsport scene. I'm only getting into IndyCar at the moment. I must admit, I quite enjoyed it, to be fair, actually. And I did even do an oval on one of the old PC games. Oh gosh, what's happened? It's Kiki at turn 3. Just having a nightmare race at the moment. Kiki is currently not going to score any points then. Is Kiki down in 19th position now. It is a nightmare race. We've got more yellow flags. Is Kiki just getting out of the way, doing a gentlemanly thing now. I think Reflection is going for a one stop. Senna is 11 and Imola is 8. Oh gosh, you got your hands full then, Halsey. Goodness me, especially two girls as well. Good gosh, I had to. Sadly, I grew up with all girls in my household. An absolute nightmare, I must say. Goodness gracious me. And sadly, they don't leave me alone now either. Which, yeah, there we go. Is that they always seem to ring me at the worst time. Usually either on comms or as a couple of weeks ago when I was just about to get ready for Belgian Grand Prix. They had to ring me up there when I was getting myself sorted. So yes, you got your hands full there, Halsey, and sadly, it's just going to get worse before it gets better. Nosey has lost out to the points position now. As Cam is now up into 15th position there. I get Brazilians crying if they meet, they thank me and all sorts. They really do love Ayrton in Brazil, and so they should. Yeah, even with Ayrton, sadly not being around since '94. Is still incredible how much of a cult following they have. Is that a cult following? Is that the right word? Probably not. I think that's probably not the best way to say it. I'm not very good with all these words and stuff. But yeah, just seeing like how much they idolize them as well. Ayrton, of course, Ayrton Senna there. To be honest, I have started to. I've really enjoyed some of the season reviews which I've watched those from the early 90s. And I love Senna, but I must admit, I used to be very anti-Alan Prost, I must admit. But having said that, just watching some of Prost's races there, which is, I'm very sad, I know. But watching some of Prost's races over the years, it's incredible how he could just drag some of his machinery right up into a championship winning position. I think 1986, for example, similar to Raikkonen actually in the 2007 season, where Alan Prost kind of gate crashed and won that World Championship when Nigel Mansell's tyre blew in Adelaide. My goodness gracious me. Which was goodness. Through goes Serious Mushroom up into 30th position, passes Monski as well. As we got a lot of darting around there. It's breaking the slipstream, I think, rather more than trying to dummy to go into the pits. Kiki's got a 3-second penalty. Legend somehow stops that car into Tarzan and up into 8th position. Reflection's down into 9th, but Reflection's got some brand new boots on now and should be going to the end as well. Have you watched the Prost documentary on iPlayer? Definitely worth a watch. No, I haven't, but I need to. I need to watch it. I'm so far behind on documentaries. If you've already heard that I'm trying to survive, I'm still on 2023, even though it's 2025. Shocking stuff indeed. But it's it's incredible what you actually learn in some of these documentaries. It's really really an eye opener as well. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it, and of course. Watch the Senate. Everyone. I think saying everyone, not everyone. A lot of people watch the Senate documentary. That's one of such an eye opener as well, isn't it? That documentary. And also I think the Schumacher documentary as well. That did make me very sad. The Schumacher documentary, there, especially with Mick Schumacher talking about his dad towards the end, and that was quite heart-wrenching indeed. And now here comes Reflections up into 8th position, and passes Legends, who is down into 9th position now. Prost was a class driver, like him or not. Like him or not, he was very good. As we got yellow flags coming out of turn 3 there. Yeah, I think I've got massive. I've always, of course, being a 4-time world champion, he's no slouch, is he? As Cam is through and up into 14th position now. Liam down into 15. Cam was looking so strong earlier on this race, but it's kind of just rolled out of control, really, hasn't it? This one out there for Cam down into 14th position there. Cirrus Mushroom and Marsky are renewing hostilities over at Skyflock, but we're going to keep an eye on Bessier here, as Vester is clinging on to the back of Legends and the championship leader, which is Reflections. Yeah, I must admit I was very anti-Prost then, but yeah, it's been a bit of an eye-opener just how incredible Alan Prost was there. And it's also, as well, it goes to appreciate the amount of different driving style so many drivers have. Jay Hings of soft tyres looks to be fading, as Jenner is now back up into 6th position. He's done 8 laps on those hard tyres, should be able to get to the end. We'll see what Reflection could do as well here. Can still remember watching Imola live once. 9 broke my heart, says Halsey. Luckily for me, I wasn't watching Formula Live back then. I think I was about a year or 2 away. The first ever memory I had of Formula 1, I think, was like 95. I think the British Grand Prix 95, where Schumacher crashed into Hill. Hill crashed into Schumacher. Proper British bias there, so they're trying to wangle it around, so it was Schumacher's fault there. Of course, as Schumacher and Hill did make contact a few times in 95. That wasn't David Hill's best seasons, was it, to say the least there. It didn't even want to be a driver. Prost, his brother did, but tragically lost his brother. I heard that. And it's incredible, isn't it? Some of these stories. It's like Bruno Senna as well, where not like very similar, but when Bruno Senna wasn't allowed to drive for quite a while, was he? Because of his uncle Ayrton, Ayrton losing his life in Imola. But it's very interesting. But of course, he did get to F1, which I think was a remarkable achievement in on itself. Albeit his career wasn't too successful in F1, especially as he drove that HRT in 2010, which I think his first lap was actually in the Friday practice of Bahrain on the endurance layout of Bahrain. The one and only time F1 used that endurance layout. It wasn't the best layout for Bahrain, but I'm glad that they didn't use it again, thankfully. I think that then Senna didn't he drive for Renault for the final part of the season in 2011, and 2012 was in the Williams, who I think that he was 6 points less or something like that than Maldonado, even though Maldonado did win Spain, and then he didn't score for a very long time after that, while Senna I think was more consistent. But I don't think Bruno Senna had a very good qualifying record, did he, or something like that, potentially. But I've got to say, that's all being dragged from memory. As you can tell, there's not a lot of other things I do in life, is it? Basically, because all the important stuff I just think about is F1. Mad Max is into the pits now on the medium compound tyres. Can he get to the end here on lap 38? We're over half distance now, whilst I've been waffling on about all kinds of nonsense here, haven't I? Of course, luckily it's all been F1 chat, which I've been absolutely enjoying myself talking to Halsey about F1. I could sit here and talk about this all day, which I must admit I am enjoying. think I've enjoyed it a bit too much, Halsey, to be honest. Goodness me. In my real world, sadly, I don't. Not many people like F1 in my real world, to be fair. So it's quite nice to actually share like my love and passion for Formula One, which is cracking stuff indeed. Oh, who's that off? That's Jay Hings off the circuit there. I was about to read Halsey's comment there about reflections, and I looked up, and there was a Mercedes off the circuit. So I was about to point the finger at Halsey for the comments cursor, but it was Jay Hings. But Jay Hings has been on those soft tyres for 11 laps now. Only other driver on those soft tyres is Ginger Rage. Kiki out of the Grand Prix. He retired a few laps ago. Then Lewis Riley also out of the Grand Prix as well. We're down to 18 runners and riders in this one there. Reflections looking strong now, just stuck in traffic. Reflections done 5 laps on those hard tyres, and it is the youngest hard tyre runner as well, apart from Lucas Percy, who has just come into the pits. Now front on the hard tyres at the end of the race, Lucas Percy hasn't, and that is his 2-tyre compound has been achieved here. And goodness me, Jay Hings are trying to get past. I'm surprised that he can still have a run there. Goodness me. Max may go to the end on those medium tyres. Max is down in 10th position there. He has the pace, does Max, doesn't he? Had a bit of an issue earlier on this race I had, but spun it out of turn 12, I believe, or turn 11. Marsky and Sirius Mushroom have an almighty scrap here. Mushroom would probably like to get away from that Ferrari because he is on the medium tyres, the supposed quicker tyre here, but that Ferrari is looking pretty strong out there. Liam is also in the points as well, 26 laps on those medium tyres, but I think that Liam's going to have to be visiting the pits in a minute, and Knowles is going to be easing into his lead there, so I wonder if Liam might think about coming into the pits earlier rather than later. Savasco's now moved his way up into 9th position. R2 beat leads, but it's done 20 laps on those medium compound tyres. Second position is, excuse me, sorry, Kiki out of the race sadly. R2 beat leads the race. Kieran in second position. Third is Equels there, 10 seconds back from Kieran. Here comes Sabaska, now up into 8th position there, past Jay Hings. That McLaren Mad Max is going to have a sniff as well. He's through. And up into 10th position there goes Mad Max. Make it 9th, Sean, make it 9th. Lucas Percy in 3rd position. And importantly, oh, I've lost my voice. And importantly is in front of Reflections. Ginner in 4th position, in 6th position now. Legends in 7th. 8th is Savasca with Mad Max now on those medium tyres in 9th position. Halsey and me thinks he's going to get to the end there. Of course, I'm latched on to Halsey's coattails there because I want to sound smart. 10th position is Jay Hings. Soft tyres after Jay Hings. I'm wondering if he's going to try and get to a sensible lap and go to medium tyres, which could be around now, to be honest. Then we got 11th position, Sirius Mush, and 12th is Marsky. Cam in 13th position with Vestier 14th and Liam in 15th position. That is the top 15. All those drivers can are scoring points there. Nosey in 16th position there. R2 Beat has lost the lead into turn 1 whilst I've been waffling on. Goodness me, Sean, you need to sort this out, don't you? Critical Lucas getting out in front of Reflections there, said Halsey. Halsey's already a few laps ahead of me there. But through he goes there. Savasca and Mad Max are going to go side by side all day. No, because Savasca, they're just parking it in the middle part of the circuit there. They are lapping. No, Savasca's lost out there. Mad Max is through. And there's a McLaren involved in this one. That's Vintage, who's down in 17th position. And Ginger Rage brings up the rear, as usual, in 18th position there. Into the pits comes Jay Hings. He's had enough of those soft tyres. He's now in the pits, and he's out about 3 seconds behind Marsky. Probably a bit more than that because Cam is through as well as we come over Skyflock. Mad Max is causing all kinds of problems for Legends at the moment in 7th position. We'll have a look at the penalty situation as we get towards the end of this Grand Prix. As Ginner is lost out a few positions while he's down into 9th position. Is Ginner in the Williams car, unfortunately, but back on board, and Mad Max, who is flying out there at the moment, they're doing a great job. So R2B has lost the lead. Kieran, this is his first race as a Williams driver. This is his second race of the season for Kieran. Of course, he finished 5th position in his other race, obviously. But which race is that? I do not know. Let me get my old spreadsheet up. I think he finished in, it was a couple of races ago actually, it was the Italian Grand Prix. It was that double header, it was meant to be a double header, the double Italian header, but sadly the second race was postponed because someone kept readying up then, which of course hampered the drivers, unfortunately, and of course the race was in the end suspended. That McLaren of vintage there. Yellow flags is got yellow flags there just coming out to turn 5 on what 3 I should say. Marsky and Cirrus Mushroom still fighting. This is a great battle, and now Marsky is in 10th position there. He gets past Cirrus Mushroom, and now Cirrus Mushroom there. He's going to try and fight back, but Mushroom, the harder the Mushroom fights, the worse his tire wear is going to be. So I think the Cirrus Mushroom is going to have to think about his tyre life now, isn't he? And I'm wondering if he might think about backing off here. Jay Hings has got a 3-second penalty, unfortunately for Jay Hings, down in 14th position. He's got a fresh set of hard tyres. The 3-second penalties may not be crucial unless we get a late safety car. R2B is finally in the pits now, as the Alpine team then are going to switch his boots. And what tyres is the Alpine driver going to go on? Mad Max all over the gearbox there. He's already through before the DRS is even enabled. There he goes. Well, no, he isn't. The DRS enables before turn 14, and through Mad Max goes, and up into 5th position. This man is flying out there. We love it. So where is R2B? Is on the hard tyres. He's going to have a tyre delta, quite a big tyre delta to some of his rivals as well. That could be crucial later on. Percy's now back up to 3rd position then. Percy currently in the championship then. He has won the last 3 races. He's 34 points. He is almost within a Grand Prix win now of Reflections there. So Percy is now starting to steam himself up to the championship battle there. Of course, Percy is the measuring stick of this championship. He does have the most wins, and a lot of the stats charts he does top in. His Cirrus Mushroom is all over the gearbox here. And Marsky into Sky Flop, but Cirrus Mushroom thinks better of it. Ginner's off the circuit in the Williams. The tyres are dirty. There's a lot of pickup on those hard tyres. I wonder if Ginner had a couple of issues then, as we are starting to really condense at this part of the circuit here with Mad Max, Legend, Savaska, and we got a kick salver of Knowlesy just getting out of the way as well. Yellow flag for the kick salver of Knowlesy, just having a miserable time down in 17th position in that kick salver as Percy is through, passes Equalson. Of course, this is crucial for the championship, not today potentially, but later on in the season. With the gap is 30 points between Equals and Percy. He is now gaining an extra 3 points now. Is Percy. The next target is Kieran, who has got 17 lap old tires compared to Percy. Is Kieran going to go to the end? Ginner out of the race. Well, that's a surprise. Cirrus Mushroom dives up the inside, and Marsky is going to hang on the outside. Ginner must have some technical gremlins out in the Williams car because he's out of the Grand Prix, and he was on course to score some decent points for the Williams as well. But that is a horror show for Williams and for Ginner as well. That's a delight for Liam and Vintage and anyone who is behind the Williams car. Marsky down in 9th position. Cirrus Mushroom is in 10th position. A great overtaken maneuver there from Cirrus Mushroom. Back on board Savaska, which I must say is my favourite driver this week. He's been superb. Winning silver, did a good job in gold then, but had a bit of an issue with Equals. I believe Equals did a bit on stream, which I would have done to be honest, Equals. But I got to say that man is honest, isn't he? Fantastic. Mad Max is flying out there. Look at this. And he's going to now breeze past the championship leader. That's a statement there from Mad Max. Cuts across the Mercedes going into Tarzan. That's incredible. Savaska's also through past his Legends as well, going down into turn 1 here. There's something wrong with my pedals for Ginner. That we thought it was a technical failure, technical gremlin, didn't we? Because Ginner had retired from the top 8. We did see him recover, Ginner, but he's out of the race. Technical gremlins for the Williams driver, and that is heartbreak for Ginner because Ginner would be hoping to score some decent points. He's only 78 points away from the championship lead. We do have, we've got less than half distance to go in this championship now. Jay Hings is out of the race as well. But that's shocking there for Jay Hings there. I wonder if there's technical gremlins for the Mercedes as well, because Jay Hings is also retired from the points set, and Liam is now going to elevate himself up into 13th position there, and Vintage is going to be up to 14th, and Knowles is going to be up into 15th, and then Ginger Rage potentially could get some points here, as he says through gritted teeth. Of course, I ain't going to be able to get points there because I'm technically not in the race. Well, technically I am actually, because I'm here, so maybe I might be able to pull a fast one from maybe I can sweet talk Coop in Percy to let me get a point then. If only. Those guys drive a hard bargain, don't they? You have to earn your points. Jay Hings' car is just parked on the circuit there. great parking there. You can't park there, sir. I suppose that's been overdone quite a few times now, isn't it? There? But there we go. Old materials, good materials there. So Cirrus Mushroom now, Cirrus Mushroom and Marsky's ongoing story of this race continues. I gotta say, it's not a story anymore. It's a saga, isn't it? Incredible fighting between Marsky and Cirrus Mushroom now. I wonder if Cirrus Mushroom owes Marsky some pocket money potentially, because Marsky is really not leaving that Red Bull driver alone, is he? Now Cam is also now wants to be a part of this battle as well. And look at the background there. There's Bess here on 9-lap old medium tyres. So this battle is going to get very juicy in a bit. Marsky and Cirrus Mushroom have been fighting tooth and nail for basically 47 odd laps. It's been great to view. Fantastic entertainment from all those drivers up and down the field. Fantastic stuff indeed. All fantastic. I get some money back on my Tesco's club card. Fantastic. However, I do admit I was fuming at Tesco's the other day because my meal deals are now gone up to £3.75p with a club card. Absolutely shocking stuff indeed. Then disgraceful. 1 second, I just got a wet me whistle. Oh, sorry. Whoa! And Marsky is through. I haven't swallowed. Marsky is through and now up into 9th. Cam is up into 10th. And he's going on the outside of the tyre side. Vessier is through as well. Cirrus Mushroom down into 11th position. Is that his tyres going off now? Well, Liam's done an extra 10 laps on those tyres. Whoa, that's a optimistic manoeuvre there from Cam. And now Vessier's on the outside as well. Vessier is through and into 10th position. Oh, love this. Enjoy this shot as we go over to Skyflock, and we only seen the end of that, but I feel that Cam was a day late and $1 short there potentially. As Martin Brother says, gosh, I need to get rid of these brundleisms, don't I? Really? What else do you say? Hug the apex like your favourite granny. I like that one as well. Just watching Vessier, who's in 10th position. No, that's Reflections. Wells is up into 4th, but Mad Max is flying out there. See what could have been if he didn't make that mistake on those soft tyres. Goodness me, I think there's Mad Max might be kicking himself with that one there potentially, but Mad Max is flying, isn't he, in third position at the moment? I've got a Windows update. Go away. We got Marsky in 9th. 10th position is Cam, and then Cirrus Mushroom and no, Mushroom's had enough. He's coming into the pits now. Vessier up into 9th, and Marsky down to 10th. There's Cam in 11th position at the moment. Ooh, I've my stomach's rumbling as well. I'm gonna have to get some food after this. As you can tell, I'm not actually racing in 100% normally. I'm usually eating and scoffing my face, so that's good, isn't it? I'm ever the professional, ain't I? I think I've been exposed again. That's why Riley went into the back of me, because I was actually stuffing my face rather than watching where I was going. And Cam on the outside there. I've got to say, Cam is not shy of an overtake here, is he? He's all over the back of the gearbox of Marsky. Let's go on board the Ferrari now, shall we? As you can see, going a bit wide there. Cam is he's looking very interesting in this 9th position here. It's 10th position here is Cam. Mad Max setting the fast lap race. He's still doing quick laps on 11 lap of medium tyres. He's got to extend that stint now by another umpteen odd laps or so, which is a technical term. The Ferrari of Marsky then, I must say, he's going to probably be, he's out of DRS as well now, is Marsky. Cam there could probably breeze past here, going down into Tarzan. So Marsky then, Cam then is going to done 3 lap less on these medium hard tyres. So he goes through and through he goes and up into 10th position. There, lovely camera work as well. Goodness me! Oh no! There's contact then out of tyres. I think Marsky. Oh my gosh! Oh, I saw my tongue. Cam is now in 10th position. There, 11th position is Marsky. My word, then, it was getting very interesting. All right, let's take stock. They're on lap 49 out of 72 here. Key, what's occurred? Oh, no, he's off the circuit. He needs to get on a bit quick because Ginger 8 is only a minute and 14 behind him. He's only about a lap and a half away from Nosey. So Knowlesy's only 15 seconds away from Vintage as well, as he's off the circuit there, is Knowlesy. And I'm wondering if he's lambasting at the strategical call that Kick Sauber has given him today. Even though it's worked out okay for Percy, but Percy's 14 seconds back. That gap has come down ever so slightly. Right, let's take stock then. We're on lap 50 out of 72. We've got about 22 laps to go. This very absorbing Dutch Grand Prix. Kieran leads and potentially on course to win his first Grand Prix of his career, and 100%, I hear you ask? No, it'd be his third Grand Prix win of his career. Then, of course, is Kieran. And, of course, Kieran's got 2 podiums, 2 wins there for Kieran. He's never DNF'd as well. He's also had 1 driver of the day for Kieran. And so aiming for his third Grand Prix win of his career. Of course, Percy's aiming for his 13th Grand Prix win of his career, which is the most out of anyone on the grid. Second position is Percy. He's got the gap to under 14 seconds now, just, and then it goes above there. Mad Max in third position. Equals is 4th. Reflections 5th. So Savaska in 6th position. 7th is Legend. I'm just watching these 2 gentlemen now. Nope, I got a reminder. I got to get me beard stuff on the go. I'm trying to grow a beard. It's not going very well, I must say. I've got this beard, like this oil, something like that. That's meant to like enhance your beard. Oh, excuse me. It's meant to enhance your beard like hormones. Hormones? I don't know what it is. Basically, it's meant to help me grow a beard, but unfortunately, it's not going well at the moment. There we go. I might just have to steal some hair from somewhere else in the body, but sadly, let's just say I'm the opposite of Bigfoot, really. There we go. I'm like a naked mole rat, basically. Savaska in 6th position. Legends in 7th, and we're just watching these 2 at the moment. All right, I'm going to try and take stock once again. There's Reflections. This is the lead. This is the battle for the championship lead, potentially, here. Equals is not taking the lead at the moment, because there's 16 points for 4th. There's 14 points for 5th. So the gap will go down to 2 points if they finish as they are now. But something tells me, because I'm an expert, something tells me that this battle, Reflections may get past Equals. However, as Murray Walker used to say, catching is one thing, passing is quite another. You'll have DRS now for Reflections. Reflections got much younger tyres than the Haas car, so I do think, as here he comes, and he blasts past Aquas, and he locks up the inside tyre. That's not going to help if he's trying to get to the end of a Reflections on the outside. Well done, sir. Reflections through and up to 4th position. Remember, he's Lancashire down in 13th. Reflections. To be honest, doesn't Reflection remind you of Immortal a few years ago when ALR first had the 100% championship first come into play? And Immortal used to believe it or not, he never used to qualify near the front, I don't think, but Immortal, or he used to have something to go wrong and Immortal had to come back from the floor. Reflections had that kind of race today, and he's just been picking off his rivals one at a time, and now he's going to extend his in the championship. But I think from Reflections' point of view, he may be concerned about that kick Sauber. At this moment then, Lucas Percy has won the last 3 Grand Prix. However, Kieran has really come in and making a splash here, and that is certainly going to cause Percy a bit of concern. Potentially still on course for 22 World Championship points, which is much better, because he had a sluggish start, Percy did. I've got to watch myself here, because of course Percy and Coop Army admins, I don't think Coop counts too much, but at this moment anyway, has locked up the inside tyre again then, but Percy might do so. I cannot say too much nasty things about Percy, because I might get a licence point or 5. Of course I joke. I love Percy, really. Hopefully I'll get some licence points removed. To be fair, I probably would have got a licence point last week if Riley reported me, but luckily I think that Riley just felt sorry for me, and he did finish in front of me anyway. And to us, that was one of my best races, and he even when I tried to hamstring Riley with that damage to his front nose cone, he still finished in front of me anyway. So brutal stuff. But I think that's actually, I was saying about Percy trying to catch Kieran, the gap has come down by another 3/10 of a second, but it's actually Mad Max now who is on the ascendancy. He is now catching Lucas Percy. Now, this is not in the playbook from Lucas Percy. Percy probably wanted to focus more on the Williams at the front here, but he's going to be a bit, I don't think he's going to be a bit annoyed by this, but this is certainly going to give him something to think about. But 16 laps on those medium tyres with just about 18 laps to go. That's quite a big distance on those medium tyres. But Mad Max is, he's a reserve driver, Mad Max is there, but he would be my driver of the day, because he's been superb out there today at Mad Max. I don't think the Mad Max is going to care too much about that lap, but he's been absolutely superb. So really good stuff. He's now been in 12th position, and as I said, what could have been, because I do think he lost several seconds, or maybe even 10 seconds with that half spin a few laps right back at the beginning when he was on the soft compound tyre. This part of the circuit here, then, what could have been there for Mad Max, and potentially could have been a lot further up the road, and certainly giving Kieran for cause for concern. But a great drive nonetheless for Mad Max. He is my driver of the day here in Zandvoort. But sadly, I ain't allowed to pick it, and even if I was allowed to pick it, of course, reserve drivers are not allowed in driver of the days. Harsh but fair. Because I think I nominated a couple of reserve drivers way back yesterday. Serious Mush certainly remembers, as Serious Mush had a great drive in Silverstone one year, but I decided to give it to Welsh Maldonado because she had a better drive, being brutally honest, out of the final turn. And Equal said, it's still keeping up with Reflections there. Reflections done 22 laps, and he's done an extra 10 laps on those hard tyres. Vetcher's got a 3-second penalty. That could hurt Vestier. He's done 17 laps, the same strategy almost as Mad Max in for second position there. Mad Max there, it's got the gap down to 12 seconds there. So that gap has come down by almost a second there since we last checked in there. And I'm wondering if Kieran's going to be a bit concerned about that. He's done 28 laps on those hard tyres. How long can those hard tyres go for? Our benchmark for the hard tyre at the moment is Vintage in 14th position. He's done 32 laps on those tyres. So we'll keep an eye on Vintage's pace there. But Vintage is now, well, was gaining on Liam, but Liam has just come into the pits and thrown a set of medium tyres on. So Liam is going to try and see if try and pull away from Vintage there. But it's a good drive from Liam as well. A strong performance, and as it stands at the moment, will equal his best result of the season. Well, actually, better his best result of the season if I can see my spreadsheet very well. Yellow flag. What's happened? Oh no, it's Percy off the circuit in the out of the final turn, and Percy has made a critical error. Oh my goodness gracious me. Fifth lap 56 there. Hopefully I can get off board. Is the kick salver damaged? I don't think so, but that is the breathing space that Mad Max needs then. Whether Mad Max can eke out these tyres and get him to the end of the race that remains to be seen. Vassier's off the circuit as well. It's like two buses come at once, and this has been taken to a crescendo here tonight. But goodness me, Vassier is all of a sudden, and Percy, the two green fighting machines here. Oh, Vassier's got damage as well. So Vassier's going to have to come in the pits. This is an unscheduled. No, he stayed out. He stayed out. That he was outside of Sirius Merchant's pit window. I wonder if that's a mistake from Vassier. He's only got a 3-second penalty. I think the Vassier should have come in the pits and thrown a set of new medium tyres, unless he's not got any medium tyres left there, potentially, and he didn't have any used sets. Potential for Vassier, but he's not. He wasn't within Sirius Mushroom's pit window. Now he is, though. Mushroom has got to well within the pit window. It's now 16 seconds the gap is. So as Liam's got a 3-second penalty, and that could cost Liam 13th position. He's driven very well, and that is going to really entice Vintage there to hang on to the coattails of that Ferrari and move himself into the 30th position. On Boris Sabaska, who's currently in 6th position. Kieran leads by just over 11 seconds. Gap is between himself and Mad Max. Percy having a spin and is letting Mad Max off the leash as such at the moment, but Mad Max still got an awful long way to go then as we're into the twilight of this Dutch Grand Prix in the McLaren. Percy in third position. Reflections is now in fourth, only 2 seconds away from Percy, and all of a sudden there, this has now changed the form book ever so slightly, because now Percy, who was very much extended his lead in the drivers' hunting of Reflections down the drivers' championship. Now all of a sudden, Reflection can see his championship rival. Is that him directly in front? No, I think that's a Mercedes. It is a Mercedes. It's not. Sorry, that's Reflection. So Reflections can see. There is Percy. Percy is extending his gap by 0.2 of a second. Vassier has come into the pits now. I wonder if he was too close to the pit entry there, so he couldn't. The Aston Martin team was not ready, unfortunately, for Vassier, which he may be a bit unhappy about there. Maybe the Aston Martin team were a bit sluggish there. So Equals, I think Equals is doing a really good stint now, but unfortunately for Equals, he's going to now lose his 5th position here. Sebastian's going to have a look, going down into turn 1. He dives down the inside, but he's gone wide into Tarzan. Equals is going to go back on the inside. Who has got the better purchase? Well, it is Equals. He's back into 6th position, 5th, I should say. Sebastian is the meat in the Haas sandwich, who, as you can see, we've got Legends in 7th position, Equals in 5th. What's happened? There's a yellow flag is that final bank corner on these very used tyres there is starting to become a problem. But also what's become a problem now is Equals has lost DRS from the back of Reflections there. So now Equals could be a sit and duck then in the down the DRS back straight here. Then albeit it's not really a back straight, is it? Otherwise it might be down the start finish straight. Savasca's a bit too far back at the moment in the Alpine. Percy's now got the gap to under double figures, and the gap is now back down to 9 seconds there. Mad Max might have to start to think about looking after those tyres, as we was looking at he's looking at vintage, wasn't he, on the hard tyres? 35 laps on those hard tyres. Here comes Sabasca down, and yes, used the start-finish straight to blast past, and now back up into 5th position there. I keep saying Lucas Percy. Percy has still got more than a half a chance of getting that 2nd position there. So it's not all rain. It's not all rain or thunder and rain and all that stuff. Not doom and gloom, that's what I was trying to say. It's not all doom and gloom for Percy, because Percy can still reel in Mad Max depending on how those tyres go. I think over the course of the racing, we haven't really seen anyone push these medium tyres far into their life as much as Mad Max is doing now. Equals is down to 6th position, and because of this then, that is a gap of 4 points being extended in the Drivers' Championship, which means that Reflections is now going to double his lead to 8 points, and it's going to be a very close championship as we wind down to the final stage of the championship, which is not the final stage because we're only on round 11 out of 18. You've still got a lot of rounds to go after this one. And of course, we got Singapore after this next week. One of the longest circuits on the calendar. Then, so I'm going to be honest. Next week, then I hope that you've all brought snacks and stuff, because next week is going to be a hell of a doozy in Singapore. Then, of course, we're going to be in Kota, Circuit of America for round 13. Then we're going to be in Mexico City. Then we have got, I think it's that Austria reverse there. It is Austria reverse, and that's going to be a great race, isn't it? Looking forward to that one. And then we're going to be in Brazil for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix before Las Vegas and Abu Dhabi to round off the season. We have got after tonight. Oops, I have just. What have I done there? I have just deleted everything, but don't worry about that. That's a problem for another day. We have got 7 rounds to go after tonight. Then, of course, an 18-round season. Then, of course, 2 rounds less than the other championships, which also is a good plug-in with 12 laps to go. Of course, well, I'd say that the gap's going to be double to 8 points then, but Sebastian's going to have a thing or two to say about that, because he's now homing in on the championship lead of Reflections here. Of course, the quick plug-in for next week as well. This is a bit of a preview, isn't it, to what is going to happen next week in the ALR Grand Prix race in ALR. Gold, silver, and bronze will now be visiting the Dutch Grand Prix for their round 13 of the championship. Unlucky for some, maybe not for the drivers. Yeah, so round 13 of the championship then next week for bronze, silver, and gold. And I must say, all the championships are big lock up there for Reflections again. Legends is coming to the pits, and Legends has actually sacrificed a position here. He's done 32 laps then, which is 2 laps less than our race leader. Lovely shot here from the Haas. Oh yes, look at that, a bit of RT work there, and that soft tires going on to Team Haas as they come out of the pits. Of course, there used to be another Haas team, didn't there, in the 80s? I can't remember. Of course, Gene Haas was this Haas. I can't remember who the other Haas guy was called. Yeah, very interesting indeed. Then in Formula One over the years, so a lot of great stories about team ownership as well. If you're bored and just want to look stuff up, then of course there's Josh Revel who talks about the Andrea Moda team, as does I think Adrian Millard as well. Talks about it. It's some really interesting stuff there. Of course, what's his name? Andrea Cincinnati or something like fan. Of course, the team owner for '92. To be honest, as much as we do laugh about it, it's some of the stories you hear is quite shocking, wasn't it? Of course, then there's a lot of other teams like on the Life team, haven't you? The was it the flat V12 engine that they tried to get working? That didn't go too well. And look at that, Equals has also sacrificed points as well here. So into the pits, soft tyres then. Maybe this is the sign that the hard tyres are at the end of their life here, and that could be a concern for the race leader as well. So Equals he didn't have a free pit stop because he's lost out to R2B. R2B is already through and going up to Skyflock now. He got to get out in front of his teammate here. He is out in front of his teammate and up into 7th position. So soft tyres now with 10 laps to go in this Grand Prix. But Legends there has already fired up those soft tyres there, and he's going to really put pressure now on the Haas car. So here comes that Legendary. It's all over the gearbox of Equals, flicking through Skyflock. We're going to watch Sebastian though, because he is really putting the championship leader under pressure here. This is the peril of having reserve drivers there. Unknown, is it, like Mad Max, who's taking points out of Lucas Percy, and maybe even Shabasca is going to take points out of Reflection as well. But it also can help and hinder. It swings both ways, doesn't it? But here comes the Alpine. Of course, Savaska is not afraid to have a lunge, but he's going on the outside this time. Is he going to hang it on the outside? And those tyres have, contact, and Reflections had to get out of that. And up into 5th position does go Savaska. The Reflections down into 5th, sadly. Savaska doing a great job up into 4th position. Mad Max has got the gap to under 10 seconds now. I think the Kieran on 36 old lap tyres are doing a good job up there, isn't he? Really good 17, as the two Haas cars are now locking horns. The gap is 14.4 seconds with 10 laps to go. If Equals wants to get himself back into 6th position. And then he's 20 seconds away from his championship leader, Reflections there. We'll see how that plays out, but for me, I feel that that's a point lost rather than a point gained here. To be honest, personally, to me, yes, he may get fastest lap, but he's lost an extra point, I believe, hasn't he? Of course, with 8th position, so that's an Aston Martin off the circuit. It's Vessier off the circuit. Oh my word, though, because the only Aston Martin left in this race. So Vessier came in the pits a couple of laps ago. As Halsey said then earlier on, then this is all about concentration now. A lot of drivers are going to be struggling towards the end of this one. Into the pits now comes Vessier, then 6 lap old hard soft tyres, and he's going to, hopefully he's got a new set of boots. So we've got an Aston Martin mechanic well in the way now, changing the nose cone of the Aston Martin, and there's choreography, beautiful stuff indeed. And look at that, it's not just the drivers that are taking a pounding in these 100% races, it's also the cars as well. Equals set the fast up the race, but he's still got Legends there right on his gearbox as well. I'm wondering if there might be a bit of team orders there. Legends is still in the championship hunt as well. Legends is in 4th position, only 62 points away. But I'm wondering if Haas might start to think about leaning towards and helping Equals now, especially with Percy on such a good run of form at the moment. And of course, Kieran might be a bit too far back. In the championship as it stands at the moment there, but with just about 7 rounds to go. But I feel it's certainly something that the Reflection needs to keep an eye on. So we haven't had any retirements in the last 7 laps or 2. Then let's take stock. Riley out of the Grand Prix. Kiki, Jinner, and Jay Hings all out of the Grand Prix. We think that Jinner had issues with the pedals. And Jay Hings also parked the car as well, so potentially technical issues there for Jay Hings. Ginger Rage is the only driver then not to get in the points at the moment now in that Red Bull. Useless, I tell you, absolutely useless. Knowlesy in 15th position now on first lap owed medium to hard tyres. I would expect Equals to start another fast off racer. It's now extended stint. The gap is under 11 seconds now between himself and R2 Beat with 7 laps to go. Knowlesy in 15th position. I wonder if Knowlesy might make a splash and dash to get on the soft tyres towards the end. Then Liam in a 14th position there. A penalty there for Liam might cost him, but he's 8 seconds away from Vessier, who's had to make a quick pit stop as well. 42 lap old tyres for Vintage. Vintage is doing a great job on these hard tyres in 12th position. Great mega job indeed there for Vintage. And Vintage, will this be his best result of this season? At the moment, no, it's not. And this Colts had a really good result. Did Vintage in where Bahrain, where he got a 10th position, I believe. But a good strong drive for Vintage. But Vintage is probably going to be looking over his shoulder now, isn't he? With Bestia and Liam both on soft tyres. I think the Bestia may be more of a problem than Liam at the moment now, because Liam is a further 10 seconds away from Bestia. That might be a stretch too far. 10th position is 11th position is Marsky, who's only 6 seconds away from Sirius Mushroom. That epic battle, goodness me, the rivalry of all rivalries between Marsky and Mushroom could renew hostilities before the end of this Grand Prix. But Marsky in 11th position, Sirius Mushroom in 10th position. No fast lap there for Equals. He's lighting up the screen in the moment. Purple. Incredible. Then Cam in 9th position there. What could have been for Cam? Cam, another very fast reserve driver tonight there. A couple of mistakes for Cam, potentially goes cost him major points. Vesterdahl sets the fast up the race. There's a hot pace towards the end of this Grand Prix. Legends in 8th position there, as Legends has backed off from his teammate now. Legends with Equals in 7th position, trying to hunt down R2B with 6 laps to go. I said that the gap was probably a bit too big, but I could be wrong here, because Equals has now got it to under 9 seconds there. R2B in 6th position on 23 lap out hard tires. 3 lap hard tires is Reflections, who has got a 3 lap younger tire than Savaska, who's in 4th position. This is critical for the championship, I feel, because Lucas Percy is now going to be a major factor in this championship. He has gate crashed the battle between Reflections and Equals. 3rd position is Percy on 28 lap out tires, 11 seconds away from Mad Max, who is making those medium tires work to absolute perfection here. He's doing a great job out there, is Mad Max there, and it's my personal driver today. He made a mistake earlier on this race there on those soft tires, and I reckon that cost him the Grand Prix win, you know. But then Kieran, who's leading the race at his 2nd Grand Prix start of the season there, he's aiming for his 3rd Grand Prix win of his career with just a couple of laps to go. And one of Kieran might just be looking after the car, but 5 seconds the gap is now between the top 2, and I think that gap is probably getting a bit too close for comfort for Kieran. So if Kieran is trying to make it to the end, he might have to just step on it ever so slightly, because Mad Max is after that Grand Prix win there, and my goodness gracious me, that would be a big old splash, wouldn't it, for Mad Max there. Mad Max is I think this is Mad Max's 3rd start. No, it's his 4th start of the season. Then his best result was only 14th position in the Chinese Grand Prix. He's retired from 2 of the 3 races Mad Max has. But my goodness gracious me, today he's been superb. Marsky's in the pits. He's got a lovely buffer there. He's given up chasing Sirius Mushroom, and now he's going to go for soft tires there with just 4 laps to go. I think that might be a stretch too far for Marsky to catch Marsky and pass. Equals 7 seconds now. 7 seconds behind R2 beat as we come to the end of this enthralling Grand Prix then. Lap 68 out of 72 here in Zandvoort. Of course, lovely in the June sunset. June sun? Sun June? Something like that. Of course, got to make the most of Zandvoort. So I think it's the last... this is not the last season, and of course the ALR Grand Prix race will have Zandvoort on the calendar this season at least. Then next season, not sure about what the calendar will do, but for certainly season 15, potentially that might be the last time that we see Zandvoort on the calendar of Formula 1 Grand Prix, which is an absolute shame. I think in real world of Formula 1, Zandvoort's probably not the best circuit to have racing on, is it? But my goodness gracious me. In terms of league racing, it's been fantastic. I said that, and of course we had a very good race in Zandvoort a few weeks ago, didn't we? Incredible stuff indeed. Equals is gaining 2 seconds a lap on a beat then, says Halsey then. Viva Havmad then, says Gaming. He's doing a great job, Mad Max is in 2nd position there. He's absolutely flying. Kieran there might just be able to get to the end of the race. He's done 42 laps on those hard tyres. Serious Mushroom is starting to cause some nervousness in the Racing Bull garage. Then with Cam there, just not too far away either. King Mad Max, and it's great stuff to see you all in the comments there from Martin. Great stuff. Let's go, Mad as well. Brilliant stuff. Mad Max is the GOAT then. Mad Max is the real king. Yes, keep your comments coming in there, because of course it keeps me awake as well. Thank you very much to Puyong MHB Gaming. I appreciate your subscription. Well, we and ALR does as well. So appreciate that. No ends as well. I'm surprised you subscribed though on tonight because I've just been waffling away and talking about all kinds of nonsense. Serious Mushroom is up to 9th because Callum is coming to the pits on lap 70, which we've just been keeping an eye on the battle for 5th position. But having said that, I think we need to keep an eye on this battle here. The gap is now under 3 seconds there as Kieran and Mad Max there he is. What a drive there. As he was mentioned before, Mad Max's 4th Grand Prix start tonight. He's retired from 2 of his previous 3 starts and only had 14th in the Chinese Grand Prix. But tonight, he has just been on top form in this McLaren Mercedes, and I think that Kieran is going to be certainly feeling it now. Then Kieran, of course, a 3-time Grand Prix winner in this format over the years. But my goodness gracious me, Mad Max has certainly made a splash here tonight in Zandvoort. Fantastic. Reflections is now getting very close to the back of Sabaska here in the battle for 5th position. Then as we're now on lap 70 out of 71. It's always a crescendo here, isn't it? Fantastic 70. Mad Max is the real king. Mad Max and great 70. I love the fan club then for Mad Max is great to see, and of course, my goodness gracious me, and Mad Max there is going to be his goodness gracious me, that this is incredible stuff. Kieran doesn't even get the DRS there from that Red Bull of Serious Mushroom now. Serious Mushroom is fighting with, but no, the Aston Martin's locked down there, so Kieran's through the traffic here. The gap is now under 2 seconds almost. Look at this man go. To be honest with you, watching this gap go down, but then of course I started waffling on about something else, and I didn't really believe that Mad Max would be able to get it to this close. So I thought the medium tires were going to fall off the cliff, but 33 laps on those medium tires, and that McLaren is driving superbly well. And I think the Williams driver of Kieran there, can he get it to under a second and get himself in DRS? He may have one shot at the Grand Prix win here in Zandvoort. This is going to be a fantastic end then to the Dutch Grand Prix. Reflections there is also in DRS range as well. Oh my goodness gracious me, then Kieran, he was coming through the traffic. He had DRS there from that Red Bull there. That might save him. My word there, that might save him indeed there. But that Aston Martin is trying to lap himself. Look, there's Mad Max in the background here. Goodness gracious me. Kieran there is going to be sweating buckets of adrenaline in that car, as Murray Walker said on the F1 97 game. Across the line then, yellow flag then for one of the kick Saubers. I think it's Knowlesy. Kieran's on the final lap now. The gap is 2 seconds. 45 laps on the set of medium hard tires, incredible. And where's Vintage? Vintage has done 48 laps on those tires as well, and is going to stay outside of Liam's Liam's clutches there. But Liam on course for the superb as Reflections is passed on the outside. As Reflections there, of course, this is important for the championship there. And Reflections there, he's now losing only 3 points to Lucas Percy there, locking up the inside tyre. Sabaska's lost out on the final lap here. Incredible stuff there. And I'm wondering then if Reflections just saving a bit of battery there just to get himself back, keep himself back in front there. Lucas Percy might be a bit disappointed there, as I'm wondering if Percy could have been able to keep catch Kieran then if he didn't have that mistake there. Potentially he could have got second there, but Mad Max has been driving superbly well. But Kieran there is already home, almost celebrates that he's already home and dry out of the final turn, and then Kieran is going to win his 3rd Grand Prix of his career. Kieran wins the Dutch Grand Prix. What a drive from Kieran there. Brilliant stuff indeed, as Vessier is out of the Grand Prix on the final lap, and I don't think he is going to get any points there. Mad Max, driver of the day for me. If Mad Max wasn't a reserve driver, he would be driver of the day. What a performance there for Mad Max. 3rd position is Lucas Purser. Reflections in 4th, just in front of Sabaska there. That's it, crucial I think in the Grand Prix here. Reflections there, only lost 3 points there to Purser there. And that is the first time I think in the last couple of races that Reflections has not lost a chunk of points. 6th position RTP, Equal 7th, Legislative, Mushroom in 9th, Cam in 10th, Marski 11th, Vintage, great driving 12th position. Great driving 12th position there with Liam in 13th there. And Vessier was classified 14th, but he needs to cross the line, and I don't think he crossed the line. You need to cross the line, similar to Le Mans. You have to finish the race, cross the line to be able to clinch the points then with Nosey in 15th, and Ginger Rage completes the final classification in 16th position. He deserved the win. Nice. Bad luck for King Max, and what a podium! Is the King of Zandvoort there. Fantastic stuff indeed. Then, driver of the day. He deserves the win. Then, Equals top lads. Top lads, and incredible stuff. Congratulations to Kieran and the rest of the podium. Says R2 beat. Right, where's me poof? I got to sit down. Oh my goodness gracious me! Wow, that was whoops. That was incredible. Let's so you take a look at the race winner then from Kieran M. Vessier, got fastest lap there. If he was deemed not to finish the race, so he may not get that point then. Mad Max driver of the day, fantastic with most overtakes for reflections. Cleanest driver for Equals as well. Classification for the final from the Dutch Grand Prix. Kieran, his third win of his career. Brilliant drive indeed. Mad Max, what a driver. He could have won this race if he didn't make a mistake on the opening couple of laps there. Percy finished third there. Reflections from 13th to 4th. Maga 17th. Savaska in 5th there. What an epic drive there. R2 beat in 6th position there. Equals is in 7th. 8th position is Legends from 14th to 8th. 9th is Serious Motion from 15th to 9th. Cam in 10th position there. Disappointed after starting on pole position. Marsky in 11th. 12th is Vintage with Liam 13th. Vessier 14th with fastest up then. 15th is Knowlesy and 16th is Ginger Rage. Jay Hinks, Jenner, Kiki and Riley all retired there from this incredible Dutch Grand Prix. Fantastic stuff indeed then. And I think we got Kieran in the comms boxes now then. And Kieran then, I think this is your third Grand Prix win of your career. But my goodness me, coming back and absolutely storming to a Grand Prix win today. I think, how are you feeling with that then? It was certainly very close towards the end of that race.
Yeah, at the start of the race, it was quite chaotic being in the DRS train. And then did Lucas spin? He did, didn't he? And then so he was kind of at first I thought Lucas was going to be my biggest threat, and then he spun, and then Max he just had crazy pace. So I honestly thought he was going to catch me because I was 0.05 on petrol fuel at the end. So I honestly thought he was going to catch me, but a few more laps he would have got me. But yeah, happy with that result.
I must admit, Mad Max, halfway through that race, I was quite surprised of how quick he was, but I thought his medium tires was going to fall off. Did you have the same feeling as well? Did you feel comfortable? I know you said towards the end you was a bit worried then, but did you feel comfortable when you did see him pop at the second that his medium tires wasn't going to get to the end?
I thought they were. I got told that they would fall off, but mine. I pushed myself too hard. I think I ended up on like 65% at the end. So I think he must have had better tire management, I guess, at the end. And yeah, I think petrol saving and trying to save the tires at the end really just about saved me. But yeah, I thought he was going to get me at the end. His pace was supreme.
I know you did go for a one stop as well. Was that your plan from the get go, going from a one stop? Because a couple of drivers was trying a two stop, and with all kinds of weird and wonderful combinations of softs to mediums and all that kind of stuff. Was your plan always going to be a one stop from start to finish?
Um, so before the practice session that we did, I was planning on doing a two stop because that's what I thought everyone would do. But then I went on to that practice session and then saw everyone was running hards and then looked at the strategy menu and it said I'd do it. So I thought, why not? And I did it and it paid off.
I've been. I know this is only your second race season. I kind of have written you off for the championship, even though we've got 7 rounds to go. Am I being a bit premature at that? Do you think that you could potentially claw yourself into the championship with 7 rounds to go, or are you just here to just ruffle the feathers of the top runners?
Probably just have a bit of fun, fight the front guys. I think the championship's probably a bit too out of reach. Reflection's doing brilliantly this season. I think Lucas is fighting for it as well. Them two are brilliant pace as well. And yeah, I think Lucas could have definitely challenged me tonight, but then had a spin. So yeah. So I don't know. I don't think the championship's in reach, but yeah, have a bit of fun.
This race, I would say, is not the toughest in the world in terms of the endurance there, but you do have a tough one next week in Singapore. Then it's probably going to be one of the longest races of the season. How are you going to prep for that one then? Of course, it's probably not as long as it used to be, but how are you going to prep for the Singapore Grand Prix?
Guess do some practice. I really am not a fan of Singapore. I'm not really a fan of the Netherlands either. So, um, yeah, I haven't done a race around Singapore in a while. So, I don't know. I don't know what my pace will be like, but hopefully up the front again. But I'm not expecting miracles like I did tonight.
Well, miracles or not, that was your third Grand Prix win of the season. Then, is this going to be a one-off, or is this a sign of things to come where you're going to just try and win them all going into the final stage of the season?
Uh, Hopefully try and win them all, but it all depends on time if I can practice. But if I don't win them all, I'm here for fun. I don't see myself fighting for the championship, so have a bit of fun and see what happens.
Really good stuff today. Well done. That was your third Grand Prix win of your career in 100%. Magnificent stuff indeed. Well done, Kieran. Brilliant job indeed.
Thank you.
And then let's come to Percy. And first things first, Percy. I got to say, that spin potentially cost you the Grand Prix win today, or am I being a bit too negative there?
Um, I think it cost me the Grand Prix win. Yeah. I mean, I don't see why it didn't, but yeah, it's just a bit of a shame that happened. More than happy with a P3. That I've still finished ahead of Reflection and Equalizer, so managed to get a few more points on them. But yeah, like you said, I think maybe that spin did kind of hamper me a bit.
Do you think that the strategy that you was on potentially put you into that danger zone of maybe pushing too hard, or was it just a simple driver error from your side?
It was just a driver error, to be honest. I did, I think, two laps in time trial just before I had to set up the lobby, and from those two laps, I already noticed that, even with the wings I was running, they were quite high, and even with that, the kick was just super understeer, and it had no straight line speed as well. I mean, I think Nosey was probably feeling the same. Zandvoort, I was really looking forward to this one because it's one of my better tracks on the calendar, but every single corner was just complete understeer, and I had no straight line speed either. So it was a bit of a hard race, and then yeah, with the spin as well, kind of adding to the misery. But like I said, I'm more than happy with the P3 and the strategy I went for. I think it was just I had to try and do something different to Keys, who won. So I thought, why not go for a two? I knew he was going to go for the one as soon as he got out in the lead and he extended his gap. So I thought, you know what, let's just try and get an undercut and then have the tire advantage at the end. But like you said with the spin, unfortunately, that probably cost me the win.
And I think you broke up there, but and of course you did win three races in a row up until tonight, though. So surely you can think that that's quite a positive, and maybe getting a podium as well isn't the end of the world as we go into Singapore next week. Is that a positive spin on this, or do you think that are you kind of more thinking on the negative side that I've actually lost points today rather than gained some?
To be honest, as long as I finish ahead of Equator and Reflection, I think it's a positive. Like I said, I was looking forward to this race, but as soon as I did those laps in time trial and realised how bad the Sauber actually was around here, I wasn't expecting a win in qualifying. When I think I was P7 or P8. As soon as I knew that the car was going to be terrible, I thought, yeah, I'll be happy with a podium, happy with finishing ahead of Equator and Reflection. And thankfully, yeah, I managed to do that and extend, or not extend, or grab some more points ahead of them.
And next week is probably one of the most toughest races on the calendar. It's Singapore. I say it's the toughest race on the calendar, but you've won 12 Grand Prix in your event league career, so this should be a doddle next week, shouldn't it?
Um, I'd like to hope so. I think Singapore might actually suit the kick Sauber because there's quite a lot of medium speed and slow speed corners, and unfortunately the Sauber is absolutely horrendous at high speed, like we saw today. So hopefully next week, with the slower speed corners, myself and Nosey can have a better Grand Prix. So fingers crossed, we can do that, and fingers crossed I can step on the top step of the podium again. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see next week.
Really good stuff. Well done today, Percy. Great job to third position. And well done to Kieran as well, who actually won his third Grand Prix of his career. That's fantastic stuff. And now we're going to swap to next week then. So next week it is gold, silver, and bronze's turn to have a go around Zandvoort. And what an incredible roller coaster it was today. Of course, in gold at the moment, the championship is very much still in Immortal's hands, and the gap is 44 points between Immortal and Sunswift and Ninja. Sunswift is still very much in that margin, so it's not comfortable yet for Immortal. And Racing Bulls are currently leading the Constructors' Championship by 51 points. In silver, Duke has taken the lead in the championship, and the gap is now up to 18 points. Mayran has had another difficult race, and sadly, and Markey not scoring either. It looks like the McLaren challenge is starting to fall by the wayside. They're still leading the Constructors, but once again, Williams has tuned into that lead. Then the gap is down to 40 points. And don't forget bronze as well. That is very much teetering on the edge then. Reflections is still leading the championship by 7 points there from Smithy Almighty, who is second, and 25 points for Dynamo Dan. The top three are very much within a Grand Prix win of each other. Aston Martin leads the Constructors' Championship by 44 points from Williams and Ferrari. Magnificent stuff indeed then. And of course, next week, I think we're in at Singapore for the Event League as well, which I'm going to be honest, I think I'm going to be ill next week because I'm certainly not going to be able to survive that. Thank you very much for joining me. Sorry that Luke wasn't able to go through the race tonight. Then sadly you've had to have me for 72 laps. Goodness gracious me, what a horror show it's been then. See you next week then. See you Sunday actually for the Dutch Grand Prix from Gold. And thank you very much to Mad Max. Well, apologies we couldn't get him in for an interview. I know that the Mad Max fan club was clamouring for him, but hopefully we'll see more of Mad Max next week. I cannot wait to see how he goes next week. Goodbye.